Good morning, you bad, beautiful bitches. You. It is Wednesday morning. My wife and I are back in the U.S., baby. World travelers over here. We did our Italy trip, hitting Sardinia, Florence, Rome, Tuscany. You name it, we saw it. Getting back here Friday night, late Friday night, going to a wedding on Saturday, and then bing, bang, boom, back to work, off to L.A. for a brand trip on Sunday. Let's unpack it all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Cooney Show.
60K student loan debt. Flash 2 years later, flip life, paid off the student debt.
Kevin, you with the couch flipping. I started 2 years ago. Our first month we made 10K.
Let's go!
We'll go to the south of France, spend a week out there. I like it.
Yeah, we're there.
Cheers, buddy.
I went on 6 dates in the same area for one night, and I only got caught once.
No!
Whoa!
I think you got ripped off. I know you made money.
I got his movie.
Well, your wife's too hot for that.
What's your Dunkin' Donuts order?
It's a large iced caramel swirl, regular.
One more. What was it? We're back after a world travel. Okay, we've been in Italy, gang, for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
Wicked
not it.
sorry. Missed 2 weeks of the pod. That's on us. We owe you big time. We're better than that.
I know. We should have done it in Italy.
Should have done it. We were gonna do it in Florence, and then we were kind of frantically checking out late.
Yeah.
So that didn't really work out. We went, gang, 2 weeks in Italy. We literally got back Friday.
Yep.
We went to a friend's wedding Saturday.
In Newport, so different state.
Yep. And then flew out to LA to do a brand deal Sunday,
Yep.
in which we flew back the very next day.
We weren't even in LA for, I think, 13 hours. We were physically in LA.
How wild is that?
Yeah. But we landed in LA, what would be 4:30 a.m., like Boston time. And then we were back that exact same day at 11:30 p.m. You were going to kill me on that flight, too.
Well, you see, my wife's very pregnant. How many weeks are you pregnant right now?
21.
21 weeks pregnant.
But I look like I'm 38.
She looks, I almost sat on my wife's lap today and asked her what I wanted for Christmas.
Honey.
Because she looked like Santa, you know?
Ho,
You
ho,
look like
ho.
one of those statues in a Chinese restaurant where you rub its belly and get
A
a mint
Buddha?
on the way in for good
Thanks.
luck.
Yeah, if you rub my belly, I swear to God, you will not get good luck.
Okay, don't do that. Anywho, gang, we will unpack the trip today.
Yep.
We'll give you a little life update, some exciting news.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, no, life has been really dull over here.
Very boring. We are very, no, it's been chaos. It has been on fire over
Yeah.
here.
All such amazing things that we're so grateful for. Just usually the things that we're doing, people do like one, and we decided to just do it all at once.
Rip the Band-Aid off, Have a kid, travel the world. We're closing on a home here, okay, gang, which we'll update you on.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, we just got married 9 months ago.
Yeah, we move a little fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to be back. It's good to be home.
Beautiful things.
You look ravishing.
Thank you.
You're glowing.
You don't look too bad yourself.
You look radiant.
Thank you. Yeah, usually they say girls steal your beauty, and I know, and I won't. Not trying to sound whatever, but she's been treating me well, so I'm proud of that. As far as like appearance goes.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
Italy has been on your list to travel for
The day
forever.
Yeah.
Is that? I assume a Euro trip is second to like when you're a little kid, you plan your wedding, and then as a Euro trip, you're like, oh, I can't wait to Arrivederci and go to Euro. Well, did it meet your expectations going
I
overseas?
will say I was slightly nervous that all the talk. We've seen so many people on social, people we know personally, who have been to Italy or Europe this summer. So I was actually really scared that they were hyping it up too much, or like we already saw so much of it. I think that we did pretty good at going to spots that aren't like the most traveled, at least not that we've seen. And I'll honestly say it was almost like underhyped. Like I can't get over. Like
I agree.
Yeah.
It was the first time, you know me on vacations.
Yeah,
Little backstory. I am the worst to vacation with. I don't like vacations.
Yep.
I'm good for like 2-3 days, and then I can't relax. I can feel my emails compounding.
Yeah.
And now that's stressing me out, knowing that I'm not answering those emails.
Yeah, but you don't ever even go the 2-3 days. You bring your laptop and you check
I
in
do.
every
I
day,
do.
so.
Ashley my wife does a great job at letting me do a little bit of work and a little bit of play, which is where I like to stay.
It's more fun for me if you just kind of knock out your like half hour to hour of work.
Right.
Because like then you'll feel good and then you'll like enjoy the rest of it. Whereas so I've just,
And then Euro, the only other negative, I loved it. I was blown away by that trip.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Thank
to your
you.
point.
Yeah.
Brought to tears in some moments because the cities like Florence and Rome are so beautiful and historic.
I was actually brought to tears.
Yeah.
In many moments.
But there was a moment there where Euro is just so
I keep calling it Euro.
yeah, sorry.
So Euro.
Italia is so it's tough. My simple little brain, it's tough to wrap my head around the logistics of it. It's like, so what did we do? 5 days in Sardinia. Mm-hmm. So I like vacations, one where you arrive, unpack your bags for 5 days, and then you pack your bags and you go home. If you're traveling to Italy, not the case. We're talking fly Logan to Rome. Mm-hmm. Rome, we jumped on a little plane that reeked of Marlboro Reds. It's like a plane from the 60s. I feel like a time traveler.
And it didn't move. It just sat there.
Didn't move, just sat in the runway.
And then the worst, so I have a window seat, and it sat for an hour, like just out there. We're all boarded, everything. Kevin's delusional. He's like knocked out, sleeping. I'm pregnant and uncomfortable because we just did like an 8-hour flight. And it's so hot, so I pull the shades down. And mind you, we're sitting there. It's not even like we're taxiing. Like, we're just sitting there. The flight attendant comes over and goes, "Excuse me, ma'am, you have to lift the window while you're sitting." And I'm like,
excuse me?
why?
They were stuck in like literally the 50s.
Yeah.
And if you eat cottage cheese, it actually helps you lose weight.
Is that a
That was like a
commercial?
big, remember I believe the 50s, they like rubbed like rubber bands all over shook their bodies and be like, I'm losing weight, honey.
Maybe we watch different commercials.
Try the meatloaf. Yeah, anywho, it's too much. It's too much. You go from Logan to Rome, Rome to Sardinia, unpack, quick 5 days there, repack, Sardinia to Rome.
Florence.
Sorry, Sardinia to Florence. You get a cab to your hotel, unpack again for like a weekend, pack up again, go to Tuscany.
You got a rental car there, so then you drove.
Oh my God, yeah, you got to get a rental car and drive. It's like too much. It's too much
Yeah.
zig and zag.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to kind of relax. Very fun. Very grateful we did it, but that was a lot.
But I'm happy, so we did that now, and I think in the future when we travel to Europe or Italy, we'll definitely make maybe just 2 stops, closer to,
Right.
like we were saying, we were obsessed with Florence. Florence was just our favorite place ever, and we're dying to see Venice. So
Oh, we got to go to Venice.
yeah, so I think we were saying we'll more do just fly to Florence, spend a week there, whatever, maybe do 2 nights in Venice. It's only a 45-minute drive, and then come back,
Florence.
opposed to doing
I'm
all over the place.
I'm so in love with Florence.
I know.
Oh my God.
We gotta
Words
bring-
like amuse-bouche come to mind.
Right. Is there a definition for amuse-bouche?
Alexa, what does amuse-bouche mean?
Amuse-bouche is a mousse or custard that is served as a palate awakener in between courses of a formal meal. It is usually presented in the shape of a small, solid sphere that has been allowed to melt slowly in the mouth.
And yeah, that city
Exactly.
really melts on your tongue, like a custard of sorts. It's just so gorgeous. And Florence is the only place I've seen in the world where you could take how you're walking the streets of Boston and you could take a weird left and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I'm kind of in a bad part of town.
Yeah.
Let me quickly walk out of this. Florence, you and I zigged and zagged all over that city.
Yeah.
It gets more, I was in tears because it's so beautiful. Any turn you go down.
And just
you know?
massive churches everywhere.
Yeah,
It was
massive
gorgeous.
churches.
And I was saying this, and don't mean to put down Boston or anything, but I was saying to you, remember in the beginning, you kind of were not that you were upset with me that I was saying this, but I was the other day, I was Boston's so bullshit. We rave about our history here, and yes, I'm very grateful, and yes, it is, But our history started in like 1700.
Right.
And like you have to like seek out the history in Boston. And even like the amount of times I've been walking and tourists come up to me, they're like, where's the Freedom Trail? And I'm like, you're technically on it, but like you don't know. Whereas like in Florence, just Italy in general, like they were dating back to like BC times, and they were literally ruins from like 27 AD.
Right.
And like you walk and you see and you're like, oh yeah, like you can tell it's history. And like that was just so beautiful to see, and I just feel like you don't really get that here as much. Like I still appreciate our history and like our country, obviously, but like you were saying, like it just like moves you to tears. Like you can physically, you might not even know what the building is or what it did in history, but you know it's historical. So,
You know, it was pretty sad. When we went to the Vatican. Vatican like took our breath away.
yeah,
But there's an area there where there's a bunch of homeless, and all of a sudden you start to feel like maybe just that, like I started to feel like very unsafe.
yeah,
Like we had that crazy guy screaming and yelling at people, and you're like, this is the Vatican.
I
This
was
is the
very
wealthiest.
shocked.
This is the smallest country in the world and the wealthiest country in the world, and it was crawling with homeless.
I was shocked they didn't kind of control that more.
Right.
And just like, and even for them though, like what are they getting? How are they benefiting being there? Like, you know, if you are trying to like look for like money or food or something, I just felt like that's not even the place where you can be getting it for them. So I was like very shocked that they were there.
that
But it was
was,
crazy. Like we walked out of, it was like a Catholic store. And
Yeah.
they were just like tents everywhere. It was very like just shocking to see.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
What was your favorite stop? So for those listening, we did Sardinia, we did Florence, Tuscany, and Rome.
Yeah.
What was your where would you go again? Where would you go again, and where would you not go again?
I'd go to Florence again, and I'd like live in Florence. Honestly, like it was just stunning, and our hotel was
Homegirl gets the presidential suite. You guys can see that video that we dropped on Instagram and TikTok of
It was a great surprise, though, wasn't it?
Uncanny.
For you and your credit card.
The-
It wasn't that bad. Honestly, it wasn't. Like, no, yes. It was pricier than the other rooms, but our view was breathtaking. We were the only ones who had the balcony, and honestly, a hotel in Boston cost that a night for like a shit view.
my wife,
My girl.
books us the presidential suite
It was a honeymoon.
on the bridge of it's nicknamed the most beautiful bridge in the world.
Yeah, and what a sight.
What an amuse-bouche. Okay. Yeah, quite the surprise for me and my credit card. You are really something else. You know that? Unreal.
But no, I'd go there a million times, and I'd love to like just stay longer. It's funny because like for 2 days we didn't even like do a tour, but we walked everywhere and just looking at the views. Like I could have done that again and again and again and again. Like, and Florence was actually the town where I was like in the most pain, and I
Yeah.
would still go back. Like it was just like
You were hurting a bit there.
it was. Yeah, we almost booked a flight home, but so.
being pregnant.
So that was my absolute favorite. Everything about it, not one complaint. My least favorite, well, I shouldn't say least favorite. Where I wouldn't go and stay again is Tuscany. I think.
Just a little, you see it for a day and then you've kind of seen it.
Yeah, it was breathtaking, beautiful views, but it's very country. So one, you need a car to get anywhere. So like
And she's saying car, too, just so the jury knows. Back to you.
But you need a car to get everywhere. So like every dinner is like a 20 or 30 minute drive. The roads, just like everywhere else, are so windy, but like even more so because it's like also like hilly. But you can't just like walk, which I
Right.
loved. Like every other place you could
Yeah,
walk
you were
out and
kind of
go.
stuck at your Airbnb. Otherwise, you'd have drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like where I loved that like I could get gelato 6 times a day in Florence because you could just walk to them,
And let me tell you, this pregnant girl did get gelato 6 times a day in Florence.
and we deserved it.
She got gelato in Rome. You got gelato. You got gelato.
day.
Any Sardinia,
Yeah.
she got gelato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Gerli-
and then also the bugs there. It's country, but like they're ants for the size of my head, and there's bugs everywhere. And I get it, it's
Yes.
countryside. But I do think like so. Tuscany is right next to Florence. So like if you guys are planning a trip, I would say do a day trip. and like book a really nice winery. I went to a really, really nice one. It's linked on my Insta highlights if you guys want to see it. Do that. You get the views. You get to experience it. You get the wine. And then I would go back to like the city. It was beautiful, and I loved that we spent time with your family there, but it just wasn't like convenient.
Yeah, I think like dream trip.
Yeah.
You go Florence, one day in Tuscany, hit a couple wineries, back to Florence.
Yeah.
It's only like a 30, 40-minute drive.
Or maybe like that's what you do. Like you do, I'm not sure like exactly now the geography, but you would do like, say your trip in Florence, go do your day trip in Tuscany, and then go back and stay in like Venice or something.
Yes. Yep.
But
I like
I
that.
just don't think you need to stay in Tuscany.
Right. And then we hit very last minute. We booked
Yeah.
Rome.
Yeah.
We literally were there. We were like flying out of Rome. We're like, oh, we might as well do a night there.
Yeah.
So we booked a hotel last minute, right next to the
Good
Colosseum.
It was gorgeous. You did such a good job finding that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was stunning seeing the Colosseum. You said it perfect. Like our brains are so warped from Disney
Yeah.
that you look at the Colosseum, something so real, so old, so historic, and my brain instantly goes, "That's fake.
Right.
That's got to be spray foam. What did Buddy from Cake Boss make this? Like that's cake. The Colosseum's cake. That's not even real. You know."
It was crazy. Like we sat there and just looked at the
Yes.
Colosseum for like an hour because it's like,
Erect.
wow. Because like that's, and I was saying this and this sounds really, really silly, but that was like the first stadium ever. Mm-hmm. So it's like we look at like if these people saw Gillette right now, they'd be like, oh my God. And we're sitting there looking at this like, no, this, people walked in here and died. And, like,
Right.
this is so historical. Like it's still standing. Like houses these days topple over with a
Right.
little rain, and this is just like chilling.
You literally look at that though, like we got to peek inside the Colosseum, and to your point, you see the big cross there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oof, this is a very sacred, scary. We go to Gillette and watch a Pats game, and like win or lose, you still booze. But then in Coliseum, it's like win or lose.
You dead.
Well, you just lost. Either you just died, or someone you know or close to is dead.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's crazy that too, like, okay, fine, people want to do that. I know, like, back then, like, this was, like, such an honor, like, blah, blah, whatever. But, like, women and children and families are, like, sitting there watching this and then,
know.
like, go home and go to bed.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy, huh? That
Yeah, what?
Bartholomew
They, like, got blood on
got
them.
eaten
They're, like,
alive.
wipe it off.
Yeah.
But, no, it's crazy. I'm really happy we did that. Not that I was against Rome. Rome is obviously great, but I was like, okay, like, you see the sights, it's busy. Wasn't really looking for that, but I'm so happy we went. And yes, it was busy, but, like, it wasn't, I mean, we went in off-season.
Yeah, it
Maybe
was-
the day we went, but it wasn't terrible.
And we drove there, and it was actually like,
We drove through it, too.
it was very easy. We drove all through Florence, and we drove all through Rome, and both were very
Yeah.
easy to do.
Yeah.
I would do Florence again. I would do Rome again.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I do a day in Tuscany. Sardinia was cool. If you're in for like a beach vacation,
Yeah.
you know.
I would love to do Tuscany again for sure. Like, even to go back to that winery just because I didn't really get to drink the wine.
Yeah.
I smelled a lot of wine. But I'd love to go back and, like, chug. Literally just, like, one touch.
Well, now you're home. You're home, and you're so pregnant. Look at the belly.
She popped while we were away. I
Oh
don't know if
my
you can-
God.
There's my belly. Oh, sorry. I don't know if this is, like, attractive to see. But
Wow.
she popped in there, which is so funny because I was getting so many DMs like, girl, you popped. And I'm like, no, I just think it's like, you know how sometimes you like get inflamed walking around and stuff? Mm-hmm. So like, no, I think it's just like the dresses I'm choosing for Italy and like I'm inflamed a little bit. And then I got home and I ran to get my nails done immediately off the plane. So I put an outfit on, basically this outfit, like it was like these leggings and a top I always wear. And usually the top covers, and it wasn't. It was like up here. And I was like, I look like Winnie the Pooh, like this fit me right before we left.
You look like the Grinch who can't decide what they want to wear to the jubilation.
If you and I like celebrated Halloween and like got dressed and like went to shit, I was
Be
saying,
Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus.
no,
You'd be Santa.
Honey.
I'd be Mrs. Anyhow, back to you.
I would be that. I would wear like a Grinch suit and then do like the yodeling outfit over it and be like, ooh, ah. But actually, you know what we're going to do for Halloween?
What?
we'll be in our new house, so we're gonna give out. We have to get like the king size bars too, like make a good impression, and like meet our neighbors and the kids.
More
and stuff.
info to come on this, but we did purchase a home.
Crazy.
So it's not final yet, but
What do you mean?
like we haven't officially closed.
But we are.
She's saying are, and yes,
Don't scare me.
we're about 2 weeks away from officially closing.
Yeah.
So more info to come on that. But we're home now. And it's good to be back, baby.
Yeah.
God, well, you're glowing, love.
Thank you.
You look great.
Thanks.
And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time. Hugs and kisses. Absolutely love you.